Hey guys, totally different video today. Not Yowie related at all, although I'm sure you'd agree if you believe, as I believe, that this creature exists, then what you're about to see would have had dramatic effect on the Yowie's daily activities, I'm sure. I'm sure you've seen on the news that over the last couple of days the flooding and the rainfall and the devastation that's taken place in southern Queensland and New South Wales. Well, we very much experienced that on our property here. As you know, I would have picked up in previous videos, we do live on a river, and that river well and truly broke its banks over the last few days. So much so that it came to within 2.5 metres of our house, and we literally thought at one stage we're actually going to lose it. And we've only been in here for 4 months now. From what I understand, at least in this particular area, the flooding is probably the worst in possibly recorded history, at least in the last 120 to 150 years, I believe. So as you can imagine, very stressful time. Having said that, I'm also extremely thankful that my family's safe. We didn't lose our house as many other people have, and we're also very blessed to have a good bunch of friends who have put in many hours to help us clean up the mess that this sheer force of nature has unleashed on us over the last few days. Yeah, it's just very much wakes you up and makes you realise that in the greater scheme of things, the big picture, we are very, very small, and we have ultimately very little control. So what you're about to see is some footage that I took over the last few days, and it just gives an idea of where the flooding reached in terms of how high it got, and also just the sheer devastation and mess that it created. Yeah, so have a look, guys. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and just gain an appreciation of just the sheer force and the sheer power of nature unleashed. Cheers. Believe it or not, I'm standing about 1 metre off the back of our new house and we are looking at floodwaters that haven't been seen for at least, from what I've been told, I don't know, 120, 140 years, and I think that was because it wasn't even recorded, so we could be looking at the biggest flood in this area since in recorded history. I don't know, I'll have to check that out, but there's our house. That's our alfresco area. Looking down onto our water tanks there. And that there, that water rushing past, is the Albert River. And I have never ever seen it, I've never even conceived that it could possibly get like this. This is just absolutely crazy. And we've actually got an inland lake where, in the neighbours' paddocks. Yeah, I just never in my wildest dreams would I have thought it was going to be like this. Woke up at about probably 3 o'clock this morning to go to the toilet, and I heard this rushing sound, and I thought it was the fan. I got up, realised the fan wasn't working because the power had been tripped out. Poked my head out the window and realised when I saw the reflection of the water in the neighbour's paddock about 20 metres away that we were in a bit of trouble. So unfortunately we've lost Sean, our ram, which I'm feeling a bit guilty about because I put him in the pen not thinking it was going to get this bad, but I think he's washed away.
You killed Sean. The best discovery would be if we find a dead Yowie. Yeah. Like, just when the river goes down, there'll just be a dead Yowie body.
I was thinking that.
Really? Just buy it. That's what we're doing it.
So what will we do with it?
Sarah reckons 1974 floods might have come this high.
I thought that was how high it came
No,
last
because the
time.
13 floods, they were higher than that. Everyone was saying. Because when she was talking to me, yeah.
We did flood 2013.
Yes, we did.
No.
2011 were the big Brisbane ones.
Yeah.
And then with the worst one we had was after that.
Really? Well, it was most of it.
Well, it would have either been 2012 or 2013. It was after the 2011 floods. Because we didn't get hit that bad in the 11. But the one that came after that hit our catchment, and that's why it got really bad.
Sarah said about 10:30 last night, it was right, the river was rising that fast. They had 2 horses. So she got 1 horse, it was ankle deep. By the time she went down to the second horse, it was like knee deep.
Far out. I don't know what we call that, Lake Albert, Lake Tambourine, who knows? That's just, that tree line there is where the river normally is. And a trench over there. And that's probably at least 150, 200 metres away. The neighbours' dressage arena, which they only just set up, all underwater. All our immediate next door neighbours' pens are underwater. They've only got a few cattle pens which are fairly high. Just over there they've brought up all their horses. And the only animal we've lost is Sean, we think. I can't say that he would have survived. Jane keeps letting me know that. Fortunate thing is I don't think the river's coming any higher. I think it's steadied. I think we're going to start to see it fall, and that's probably, distance wise, the closest point is 2 metres, probably about 3 or 4 metres there, and it's got probably about another metre to a metre and a half before it gets up to the actual floor level inside the house. So we've got a little bit to play with, but just thank God that it didn't go any higher. I only had the house here for How long we had the house now? About 4 months, Keek. Our path that leads down to the duck pen. The duck pen's well and truly underwater. Chicken coop's underwater. Still got a couple of chooks in there, but they're perching up high. So this is probably the closest point the water levels come to. And if I was to step that out, we're talking probably 2.5 metres. Distance, vertical, horizontal distance. Thankfully I think we've still got another metre to 1.5 metres before it gets to floor level, although on this side of the house it looks actually like it would have less than that. Probably 1 metre. Hey doggos. Cairo Pearl. You alright? Garden shed's underwater. Where our big pump is housed in there. That was Paco's little hut. I had to get him out, Paco the pig. Hey girls and boys. Looking over to our bungalow over there, which is probably halfway up my shin when I walked in there before to get some photo albums and stuff out. Where that water's rushing over there is our usual sort of picnic table area. Absolutely mad. Absolutely mad.
I just hope there's cows.
All the bottles are floated in there from outside of the Melbourne.
Oh, at least we don't have to do a rubbish collection there. We got to look at the positives, don't we?
Well, insurance will cover people come in and clean, yeah?
Yeah, it
Clean
should
up.
cover everything.
All the wood stacks to go. Those things
I don't think it would have taken our big log though.
I wanted it to all go.
I don't mind the big stack going, I just don't want the big log going.
Why?
Because that's our fire seat.
That aircon will be wrecked.
Oh, the whole bungalow's stuffed. So, I don't know what they're going to cover us for that, but...
Well, I wouldn't want to fix that up because I wouldn't want people staying in that. Oh, heck.
Looking at the front steps of our bungalow, had this flood come in 5 months ago, 4 to 5 months ago. We would have been scrambling up to the shed. Flood we had in 2013 or 2012. We thought that was bad. Nothing on this one. Over into the neighbour's paddock on the other side. It's actually a beautiful morning. A beautiful sunrise. Thank goodness it's not raining anymore. I do hope and pray that we're not going to get any more either, because if we get any more rain coming down this catchment, our house is gone. Half the bloody streets, houses have apparently gone under. This is just unprecedented. Still looking into the neighbours' properties. Width of the river, I would estimate now, that far bank over there. Get a focus. I would think. Yeah, between 700 metres to a kilometre. Somewhere in that vicinity. When the river's sitting in its normal trench, it's probably lucky to be 25 metres wide. This is just nuts. Oh yeah. I don't know what that is. What shall we name this lake after, Keeg? What shall we name the lake? Lake Keegan, eh?
Look at that, that's just straight across, like.
It's just nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Can we go for a walk up the street?
Yeah.